So with the Super Bowl tomorrow, I thought it would be kind of fun to make a little buffalo dip. The recipe is for buffalo chicken, but this will be buffalo pheasant. I also wanted to point out something that I like to do is obviously put the harvest amount, but I also put, where I was. I don't remember the dates that I hunt, but if I remember the place, then I can recall and say, oh yeah, I remember being there. This hunt was where my gun misfired on me a bunch of times. I should have had a limit plus a Drake Mallard, but I just got the one pheasant that Sage pointed and flushed, and we dropped him into the water. That a girl, Sage! So anyway, something kind of neat, just thought I'd show that, some of you guys might do something similar. But anyhow, tomorrow we will put it all together and hopefully come up with a pretty good dip for the big game. Thanks, guys. So, next step in the process of making our buffalo pheasant dip for Super Sunday. Got my pheasant laid out here on a piece of tin foil in the sink. That way when I season it with my mostly salt and pepper, a little bit of Old Bay, it won't get everywhere. And then I'll add chicken broth into the Instapot, and then we'll pressure cook it, get it nice and tenderized, and then we will shred it and move on to the next stage of the process. Okay, so I've got my meat in the Instapot. I did put a little rack in there, but I filled up the chicken broth right up to the top of the rack. So the kind of bottom half of the pheasant is in the broth and the upper half is not. Pressure cook? Probably put it up to a half hour or less. 15.
15, because then you let it...
Oh yeah, let the pressure out.
Yep.
So
we'll let it release naturally.
All right, thank you. Guys, another thing to keep in mind is even though docile and simple, the wife can help out. All right, so here's my pressure cooked pheasant. Instead of shredding it, I'm going to work smarter, not harder. Pull out the old electric knife and cut it up real good. Got to pull the meat off of the legs. And I've got these hearts in here, and well, I know someone who wants one or two. Is that good? Let's see, oh, I've got a gizzard here. Alright, you can have a gizzard. Here, Larry, you got a little chunk there. Sit. Okay, there you go, baby. One thing to remember about these thighs is there's a hard piece of cartilage in here. Oh, there it is. There we go, that looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks real good. So anyway, we'll go ahead and put this in a container and come back when we start to put it all together. So today I'm putting this together for buffalo pheasant dip. This works really, really well. Like a pheasant salad sandwich. Basically, a pheasant is a great substitute for anything chicken, in my opinion, and is often better. So anyway, there's your helpful tip of the day. All right, so we are getting into it. In this pile here, I've got garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper. A teaspoon of the garlic and black pepper, and I did about a teaspoon and a half of onion powder. I don't like the texture of onions. I know, it's just the way it is. But I still like the flavor of onions, so that's the reason for the onion powder. Got a cup and a half of Monterey and Colby, and then a cup and a half of just regular cheddar. I've got my Frank's Red Hot Wing Sauce. I've got my homemade ranch dressing, and I have got my pheasant. So anyway, that is the extent of the ingredients. So I wanted to show this, the latex glove, one of the more essential pieces of equipment that I use for both hunting and in the field. I mentioned on the last, I believe it was the last video or second to last one, I talked about using latex gloves underneath your regular hunting gloves. Helps keeps your hands warm without getting the bulky in there. So anyway, there's that. But I'm going to start just kind of throwing ingredients in and explaining as I go. Then I'm going to mix in my dry ingredients, the pepper and salt, and, or excuse me, the garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper. And then I'll go through with my hands and just give it a good little mix. I should have probably just put this camera on my head, but I'm optimistic you guys will get the gist of what's going on here. This is also a good opportunity to just make sure that you don't have any really long or big pieces. People are going to be scooping this up with chips, so you'll want to make sure things are broken down pretty well. So next step is to put in the cream cheese, like that. So with the cream cheese, you either want to leave it out so it's at room temperature, or you can always throw it in the microwave. It doesn't take too long to get it softened up, but if you just take it out of the fridge and start working with it, you're going to find out that it's a lot more work. It's a lot harder. So, all right, so we've got the cream cheese mixed up fairly well. Now we're going to add 1 cup of the hot sauce. We've been doing a lot of stuff and dishes are going, and I don't have any 1 cup measuring cups, so take a 1/2 cup and do that twice. I think 1/2 times 2 ends up getting to 1 full cup. I'm just playing, I know it does. And just like before, get that in there and just start working it around. That beautiful smell is coming out. I'm using a heavier wooden spoon here just because it gives me a little bit more leverage, but it might not be a bad idea to have one of those little rubber spatulas on hand for when we dump it into the pan. Alright, now that we've got our buffalo sauce fairly well mixed up, it's time to throw in that homemade ranch dressing that I whipped up earlier. Boom. You guys would probably guess what I'm going to do now. Got it. Except for that Brent guy. He never seems to know what's going on. Alright, so we've just about got our mix. I do have the cheddar and the Monterey Jack all cheesed up here. I'm going to put about, 1/3 of it in with the mixture here like this. And then obviously we're going to go ahead and mix that up. The next step will be to put it in our pan. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my mixture into the pan. As you can see, there's quite a bit left in there, so I'll get a spatula out and scrape that in. We just kind of spread all this into the corners and all around. Then I'll grab the rest of the cheese. We'll just kind of sprinkle that over the top. So yeah, there we have it. Got our cheese added up, and we are balling, ready to go.
Like a boss.
I am. I'm making a video for my YouTube channel.
Yes.
Just in case anyone wants to know how to eat muskrat, this is one of my favorite ways. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and pop it in the oven for 20 minutes, and we'll take a look at it at that point in time and see how long we need to broil it. So anyway, check you later. So I did the whole big recipe, had the Super Bowl party, disappointing game, whatever, and I did not show you guys the finished product. Anyway, the buffalo pheasant dip turned out just fantastic. One thing I might do differently next time is not have quite so much cheese on top. And I know I like cheese, but yeah, it was just kind of a little bit too much of a layer to bust through with the tortilla chip. Otherwise, it was simply amazing. be happy to do it. I know I'm going to do it again for the next time I have a party. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy it. Everything will be down below, the recipe, like I said, I did homemade ranch for this recipe as well. All that stuff will be in the description, and if you have any questions, feel free to give me a shout. Send me your favorite recipes, put it in the comments, whatever you might need to do, but I love food. It's cold out. This is the time of year when it's really, really a good time to try out some of the new recipes and fun ways to eat the game that we harvest. So anyway, guys, you know the drill. Keep that tradition alive. Thanks.